We're here with Sue Keohokapu-Lee, House Representative, state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Really cool. Just kind of wandered down in, saw her in the hallway in the state capitol building, and I guess we're gonna just talk real quick.
So welcome, first of all, welcome. Thanks for coming to visit.
Like as of right now and probably like forever, this is my favorite state capitol building. This state capitol building is amazing. So how do you feel like working in this state capitol building?
Well, it's just incredible. Just so much history here. You know, it was built in the late 60s, early 70s, long before you or I were even born, and just steeped with a lot of tradition and legacies. We've just had so many great leaders. It kind of saw a transition, but really kept a lot of the nostalgia about what makes Hawaii special. So a lot of the architecture that you see in the building, whether it's in the house, replicates, you know, the sun, the earth. On the Senate side, the color schemes are about the water and what's really important to Hawaii as a state. And then even some of the furniture that you have here in our offices, and every single office, they're koa, which is, our desks are made of koa, which is a very authentic type and very prominent type of wood that's grown here in the islands.
It's a nice desk. Get a shot of that desk. It's so weird having like holder and not just like a dead tripod. Do you want to talk about any like laws or bills or anything?
Well, I'll start with, I represent Hawaii Island. I represent Hilo, which is a district on the Big Island. Really home to our Hilo University of Hawaii at Hilo. The harbors, the ports, the airport, just kind of the heartbeat of Hawaii Island and a lot of the economic development. I humbly sit as the vice chair of our Committee on Health, along with a member of our Finance Committee, a member of our Human Services Committee, and proudly a part of our Native Hawaiian Caucus. This year, we have close to 25 Native Hawaiian members, both on the Senate and the House side, sitting as representatives.
What's like the percentage of the total for that?
So in the House, currently, we have just short of 12, which is about 1/3 of our makeup. On the Senate side, they're rocking about 20%. So this is actually one of the first legislative sessions that we've had a number of Native Hawaiian representatives on both chambers.
It's nice. Because I assume like for historically it's not been like that.
It has not been, definitely. So we're excited about having a voice.
That is good to like start changing it that way. I see the calendar here. Would you say it, because we talked to the office of the governor, and they said the governor is always like insanely busy, which makes sense. Would you say that as like a House member, you're also like really busy?
So our session runs for about 3.5 months, January to about the first week in May. It is just guts out all the time. We are going all the time, hearings, meetings. And then it slows down a little bit off session, but a lot of our legislators really take that time to go back to our constituency, start looking at what we did pass, how it does help community, and then maybe develop new policies for the next session that starts again in January, and what we can do better.
I like that whole like, you go back to the community and then just get to like live with it. Like I interviewed the mayor and town manager of a town near Virginia Beach, and they both said like they have schedules where it's like they get to just be people, and then people will just go up to them and be like, hey, do this, and then they go back to work and they talk about it. It was a good question. For like transportation, because I know my dad was talking about it. Do most people just like fly in between the islands, or there's like a ferry or anything, or like how does that work?
Yeah, as a neighbor island representative, I do fly. I fly during session. I'll show up either Sunday night or Monday morning, work the session Monday through Friday, and then back on a plane to go back home. Off session, I'm here maybe 1 or 2 days a week. developing new policy, meeting with agencies, seeing you great people wandering around the capital. So it's tough. It's a lot of miles. Hawaii Island is probably about a 45-minute flight.
Really?
And so after a while, it's part of the honor and privilege to serve our community.
Would you say that like most people who work, like if just a normal person who works on the island of Hawaii, how often would they go to other islands, or would they just stay where they are?
Yeah, I think we have family on every island, so it's pretty common that we fly back and forth. We staycation. You know, your parents, right, got married on Kauai, and we'll definitely fly to Kauai to see family and friends, but also for a mini vacation ourselves.
Because our experience, his older brother lives in Maine, so they have a bunch of islands, but they have like a ferry that goes in between, and it's like a 40-minute ferry. It's nothing like Hawaii, which is like the size of Texas over the water. You guys have any questions?
Well, I'm interested on the Medicare. So your perspective on, is there concerns that the federal government will not meet their obligations for the state of Hawaii? Is that your concerns?
Yeah, I think that definitely is something we're constantly tracking. Hawaii Island, is incredibly diverse, right? We have just a multiracial community, along with definitely different tiers of income levels. And so we are tracking what's happening at the federal level. Our goal this session was definitely to kind of create a little bit of a cushion, because we were unsure as to what was happening with that. And then if need be, hopefully be able to absorb some of the cuts. But our next session will be incredibly busy. City and county is considered very urban, but all of our neighbor islands are rural and fall into like rural healthcare categories. And so we're very mindful and conscious of how that impacts are going to translate, especially to us on the neighbor islands.
And same cost of living, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, and to your point, we traveled from island to island to visit family and friends and to vacation, but we've seen other people who actually live on the neighbor islands, like myself, work here because the cost of living is a little better, or housing costs might be a little better on Hawaii Island. And then
so it's like kind of like you have like a big city, and then you have like suburbs, but it's like an island.
There you go.
That's really interesting, because if you said it's like a 45-minute flight, I know people that I work with that drive like 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
And so it's like, that's not that long, really. Do you guys have to go through like TSA and stuff every time?
Every time.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Like, because when we drive anywhere in North Carolina, you just drive.
I'm curious, what led you to this career?
I lost the bet. Just kidding. Actually, I sat on our local water board back on Hawaii Island. There was an open seat on the council, and a number of members on the water board encouraged me to do it. Of course, I didn't think I was ready, but they said, come on, let's do it. Did the county council for 8 years, and the House District 2 seat, a good friend of ours, he decided to retire, and he said, come on, so let's go get you up at the State House. It's time for you to serve on a bigger level. So
and that was an elected position, right?
Yeah, they're all elected.
I think every state is like that. I know there's sometimes like weird things where if a representative retires, I think there's a committee in some states that can appoint temporary representatives too. But most states just have normal elections.
Yeah, and absolutely, when there's an open seat, everybody has to run for it. Sometimes people retire during their terms, so yes, they would get appointed in. But,
yeah. And Hawaii is bicameral, right?
I'm sorry?
Like House and Senate?
Yes. So we have 25 members in the Senate.
Oh, wow.
50 members in the State House.
That is...
So I'm
that
one
is
of
tiny.
50.
There is, North Carolina, I think, has 100 senators.
Yes.
So it's a lot.
There's a lot
Lot
more
bigger.
people, a lot more lawmakers
Yeah.
to deal with, for sure.
Would you say it's like a more, it's easier because there's less people, so you can like get to know everybody?
Yeah, and I think my time on the council, I had already developed a network and a relationship with so many of our House members and our senators. Proudly, Hawaii Island, we have a great coalition. We have 4 senators and 8 House members. You know, we really do look out for one another because what's good for one of us is good for Hawaii Island. And we genuinely like each other. We
Yeah.
do. We really do like each other.
Connections are good, guys.
So that's interesting. We were
Wonderful
talking before about North Carolina being the number 1 for business in the United States. And because even Democrat and Republican, they still work together in commonality. Do you see the same in Hawaii where their commonality working together?
Yeah, definitely. Well, for Hawaii Island, for sure. I think, as you mentioned, city and county a little bit more urban, a little bit more economic kind of charge, whereas our neighbor islands, specifically Molokai and Hawaii Island, very rural. We see a lot of cattle farmers, ranchers. So while we're looking out for economy, we're kind of being very specific about economy for farmers and ranchers, economy for our ag industry. And then we'll allow our other friends really to look out for that real small business economy. You know, we have people who are passionate about the environment. We have people who are passionate, especially for our seniors and our kids. So I think collectively we all bring our passions together and start to identify what's really important and how we really help serve communities.
It's wonderful. We saw a lot of that in the news from Maui Relief. So did you help work at the Maui Relief and charity and giving?
Actually, I was traveling to DC that August when the fire happened, and I was there with 2 other senators and a member of the House, and we decided within that moment that we were going to start carrying the message that Lahaina needed help, and we just trusted that our friends and partners and family members back home were going to do what they needed to do, but we used our time wisely and decided to say we're going to pull the fire alarm at the federal level and we're going to need help. And
We saw a lot of that in the Carolinas with a lot of relief and asking and advertising. So it was a Red Cross and all those support for Maui, so that we saw a lot of support for that. So it was really good. We supported that cause too.
Thank you for that. Wow.
Last question. I made a YouTube short, and it's just completely random. So I think it was the smallest county by land area was Kalawao County in Hawaii. I don't really have a question about it, but it's just really fascinating.
Fun facts.
Have you ever I assume you've gone there, but is that does it feel like it's really, really small? Because I think it was 20 miles.
No, it doesn't feel small, but I guess for us, wherever you stand, either you can see the ocean or you can see the mountains, right? And so,
those are just buildings.
Buildings, right? So for us, when I travel to the mainland, all you really see is just big open space.
Yeah.
So it just feels, for me, it feels bigger.
That's actually interesting to think about. That you guys have the mainland United States, which is just it took a 6-hour flight to LA. But if you ever go there, it's just it's so flat. It's really weird because obviously we're used to just
Driving,
yeah,
right?
driving. I drive 2 hours to college, and it's not even long at all. So yeah. Also, I do a handshake at the end of the video because it always looks good on camera.
All right.
Yeah.